everyone, welcome to another review by Darth Devious. Today, and probably the next couple reviews, we are going to be taking a look at the Combiner Wars Constructicons, aka Devastator. And I figure what I do is, I would show off two at a time. Try to get through these as fast as I can. Two at a time, there's 6 of them. That'll give us 4 videos to take a look at these guys. Now, you're looking at them, you're seeing there's silver paint and stuff on them. This is not the Unite Warriors. This is the Hasbro version. I added a lot of this paint and stuff. I'll go what I'm going to do with all the figures, I'll show you where I added paint. For almost all of them, it's pretty much just the vehicle modes. I really didn't do much to the robot modes. I think Mixmaster is the only one who really got any little added details in his robot mode. But still, I figure we'll start with the legs. Get the rest of these guys out of here. And we'll do Mixmaster and Scrapper. Get this big guy out of here. So for part 1, we have Mixmaster and Scrapper. Scrapper, and I'm going to say this, even with the issue of not having elbows, he is my favorite figure from this set. He just is really well done, and I just like the way, his robot mode especially, even without the elbows, he can pull off some really dynamic poses. We'll move Mixmaster for a minute. On him, I didn't add too much paint. Some silver details up here I hit. I did the vents back here and in here. Tail lights got done. Rims and the ladders. That was pretty much it on him. So that was pretty much it. Now, like I said, because I'm going to be doing two figures at a time, they have very simple transformations. Very simple. Some would say a little too simple. A few of them are pretty much just like Mixmaster's is insanely simple. I think the most complicated one is Bone Crusher, and that's just simply because of how his legs transform. So I will show off their transformations. And you can see here, moves. This goes up. This can come down. All this stuff. There's a little tab here. Please be very careful with that. I've seen people where that has broken off. Without that, Devastator can hardly stand up. It's a key part, so you always want to be careful. But to start his transformation, we just basically take these, and that pops down. His arms come out and go back. Real simple, real simple. Flip out his hands. Pull up that lovely head sculpt of his. You flip down his foot like this, and the front half. Flip all this down, flip his foot out while you're coming down. And then the back half, accordions, comes back down. Little peg there, into there. That smokestack there goes into the other one. Pegs that together. And there you go. He's pretty much done. Not too hard. Like I said, they are not difficult figures to transform. There is some simplification done to them to make them work as that really huge combiner. And it's like his elbows. Now, I know that the car version, they re-engineered it so he had elbows. Same thing with Long Haul. These are load-bearing points for Devastator. Devastator is not light, so I can see why Hasbro was a little wary. They didn't want some kid's Devastator toppling off a table and smashing into pieces. I can see that. His articulation, head is on a ball joint. You get a little wiggle waggle. Make sure it's up all the way. There you go. And then you can move it back and forth. Look at that head sculpt. I mean, that is just nice. Look at that. That is Scrapper. And I love the painted details that they gave him. Now this is stock. I didn't touch this. This is how he comes. They put a lot of paint into their robot modes, and they really skipped on their vehicle modes. But shoulders can go like this. They can go forward and back. They can go up. So he's got a lot of range of movement despite not having elbows, and he still does have a swivel here if you really want to use it. He doesn't have any weapons. I mean, you can use the parts for Devastator as weapons. I just think that's kind of dumb. Hips go forward and back. They can kick out. They can rotate, you know, 90 degrees at the knee, and he's got ankle pivots. So he has better articulation than some of the other Combiner Wars figures, but the elbows kill it for a lot of people. He still looks dynamic even without him. Just look at that. So put him down real quick, put him back, and we'll take a look at our second figure from this set, and it's Mixmaster. Mixmaster probably got the most paint of all of them from me. I did the ladder on both sides. I did these pipes that were here. I did this detailing up here on both sides. Didn't come out as perfect as I want. I don't care. His headlights were not painted. And yes, this is the front end. A lot of people sit there and go, why does he look like that? He's backwards. No, modern cement mixers are built like this. It is to prevent accidents that used to happen with cement mixers where if they stopped short, sometimes cement could splosh out onto a car behind them. That doesn't happen nowadays because the mixing barrel is facing in the complete opposite direction, and it's just better for everything this way. And I will be putting up a picture of a modern cement mixer, probably right about there. Bing. Or something like that. And you can see here I did his rims as well. And then I did the back end here. He got his tail lights done, and then this silver detail is to match the Unite Warriors one. I just liked how it looked. It still needs a little Decepticon symbol. I don't have one. It is what it is. I don't have any repro labels lying around anymore. I've kind of used them all up. Wish I had a few. I don't. So there you go. His transformation is even simpler than the rest. You just unpeg his hands here real quick. Pull this up like that. Now his joints are tight to do that. Some people are afraid you might break them, but I think he's sturdy enough. You can bend his elbows. His legs, you just unpeg this. Do that. Do that. Come back here. Open this up. Flip that up. Flip that down. Ta-da! Mixmaster. And out of all of them, he's probably my least favorite. That seems to be the consensus with him. He does have ankle tilts too. They're not as good as some of the others, but they do work. He's got this big mixing barrel hanging off his butt. Nothing you can do about that. I do like how they molded in the missile launchers that he had in G1. Now I picked them out in silver, plus the little detail in the middle there. You can look at his face close up. You can see it's a nice face sculpt. They all have pretty spot on face sculpts. It's just some of the other designs that had to be done to these guys are what, you know, a lot of people complained about. But 90% of us, we're going to leave him in Devastator mode anyway. His legs are a little loose. His hips are loose. I need to get in there one of these days and fix that because, yeah, that sucks. Now this is a second-hand set, just so you guys know. I don't have the box, don't have the instructions. It was gotten for me from an eBay auction. The guy who was selling it had gotten the Unite Warriors version and wanted to get rid of this version. So I ended up with it, and I'm not disappointed. He has some nice painted in details too that Hasbro did. Like this silver here is theirs. Mine is the headlights. So you see the silver I use, because I know people are going to ask. I use a combination of Gundam markers and Elmer's paint pens. Elmer's paint pens you can get at any Walmart in the arts and crafts section. If you go down the aisle and it has like acrylic paint bottles and paint brushes and all that kind of art supplies like that, you'll find the painter's pens. They have a section for them in that aisle, any Walmart. The silver that Elmer's uses, as you can see, is pretty much a perfect match for what Hasbro uses. That's why I use it. Yeah, so 90% of the details I added were done in silver. They got nice purple plastic. I'll give him that. His articulation is a little better than Scrapper's. Arms can go in and out like that. His head's on a ball joint, just hard to really get to it. He does have an elbow, and he's got a rotation below the elbow. It's a weird elbow, I'm not going to lie. That kind of is scary. But what can you do? Hips go forward, they go back. They're blocked by his junk in the trunk there. Rotation, 90 at the knee, and of course this. There you go. So yeah, that was my first look at figures from Combiner Wars Devastator. Today we looked at Scrapper and Mixmaster, which will become Devastator's legs. And I'll go through turning him into Devastator in the last video. It's gonna get a little weird because I'm gonna have to move the camera around a lot to do it because Devastator is massive. These guys are Voyager figure sized. So let me find a figure I can compare them to real quick. Yeah, here we go. Cyclonus here from Combiner Wars. You can see they are the same size as Cyclonus. So if you imagine all these guys becoming Devastator, Devastator is a lot larger than any of the other combiners, which I'll show them off with at least one of them. Might be Bruticus, because Bruticus is the only one not on a shelf buried behind other figures right now. So, there you go. Or maybe Optimus Maximus. We'll see. So, yeah. Part 1 done. Let's move on to part 2.